Hi and welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer here with Kate today, and it is Holy Thursday, so we are at the very end of Lent. Today we want to update you on all the books we've been reading through Lent. If you remember, we had a pretty ambitious to be read pile, so we want to go through those with you, what worked and what didn't.
We've definitely had our favorites and our least favorites, so we want to talk today about how that all panned out and also share what books we're going to be reading next. So let's get started.
Okay, first is the question, did we manage to read all of these books during the 6 weeks of Lent? And the answer to that question is yes, all except this one, Lent and Easter with Mary, because it runs all the way through the end of the Easter season.
And we did find that actually getting through all these books was very manageable because it was only a couple of pages in each every single day. So we're going to go through them and we're going to start with the books that worked for us.
Definitely, no surprise, the Gargoyle Code worked. I enjoyed it just as much the second time through. It was so funny, and I could definitely see some of my own vices and virtues in this book. I was also really happy to discover that a sequel to it has already been published, but we're saving it for Lent 2023.
And it also definitely worked for me. It's so relatable because the author just calls us out for all the little vices and everything going on in our modern world. And it also leaves you with a lot to think about because it really highlights just how much the devil is trying to trick us and destroy our lives.
Next up is Everybody Needs to Forgive Somebody by Alan Hunt. And I really like this book. I would say it definitely worked for me. There are some amazing stories of love and forgiveness in it, including one of my favorites, the story of how John Paul II was able to forgive his would-be assassin, Ali Aka.
And it also worked for me overall. Some of the stories I liked better than others, but they were short, which was nice. So it was a good book. It was an interesting book to read, but for me, it'll probably never be a favorite. So now on to what didn't work, and that would be Sister Wendy's The Art of Lent. I didn't really like trying to combine reflections with art study, and I also found that some of the reflections in this book were hard to understand.
Yeah, this book, I have to say, it frustrated me. I did like her reflections. I thought most of them were very good. And I also like how she paired them with all different types of paintings, not just religious art. But again, this book frustrated me. The smaller size made it hard to read. It doesn't quite want to open all the way. So I felt like I was struggling with it all the time to make it lie flat enough so I could see the printing on this side of the page. And the light gray print definitely didn't work for me. I'm old and I wear glasses, and I felt like it was just hard to read.
So maybe a larger reprint of the book using black ink would be better for you. But I think for me, not much is going to help this book. It just wasn't a favorite.
So now we want to address the question, which out of all of the books was our favorite?
And for me, that would have to be the Gargoyle Code. It's just the most modern, it's the easiest to read, and very, very entertaining.
Is that so wrong that we liked it because it's entertaining? It was my favorite too, I have to say. But in second place for me, the Sermons of St. Francis de Sales. Now I will say that he made me work hard. It wasn't always easy for me to understand his point. I really had to pay attention sometimes, but I did learn a lot and I really enjoyed his no-nonsense style.
And if you're wondering what our thoughts are so far on the book about Mary, our work in progress, like we said, it goes to the end of the Easter season, so we're not done yet. But we are enjoying this one so far. It has lots of wonderful stories about the Blessed Mother and tons of beautiful prayers.
Now we want to look at what we're reading next. What is on our to-be-read pile for the rest of April since we're finally done with all our Lenten books. Okay, the first one for me is The Last Bookshop in London, which is a World War II book. I love reading about World War II, and I've heard that this one is really good, so I'm excited to start reading. Christophanic Living Joy is also on my list because I think that's just the perfect book for the Easter season, Living Joy. Then Life of Mary as Seen by the Mystics. I bought this recently in a book haul and I've actually started reading it and it's really good. So I'm anxious to continue and finish it. And then Black as Night, a fairy tale retold. This is book 2 of the Regina Doman fairy tale series. I recently read book 1 and just loved it, so I'm really excited to have the sequel.
And then also for school, we're going to be tackling Roadmap to Heaven, a Catholic plan of life, how to plan your life so you can get to heaven. Then we're also very excited to have books 5 and 6 in the Armor of God series. We can't wait to finally know Sir Lucian's full story and figure out what happened. So we can't wait to read these. And then next up for me is The Shadow of the Bear, which is book 1 in the Regina Doman fairy tale series. I know straight up nothing about this book, but she's been ranting and raving about it, so I'm going to give it a whirl.
I know that Kate will really enjoy this book, so I can't believe we've never read this series before, but that's all changing now. So that is where we've been and where we're headed in the world of reading. Let us know down in the comments if you have read any of the books on our TBR pile, especially if you have read the Regina Doman fairy tales. I would love to hear your thoughts about those.
And we also do want to wish you a very happy and blessed Easter. We're definitely looking forward to Easter and the Easter season here. And we hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.